one-man operated buses. I just don't like them. My daughter works on them, and she says she likes them. But in my opinion, and it's only my opinion, I don't think they're paid enough. That is one reason why I don't do them.
Routemasters were pensioned off to make way for the new models. 40 went to Sri Lanka. Through the 70s, London buses continued to lose money. Since the launch of the RM, passenger journeys had halved. Huge cuts in routes and staff were called for. The bus of the future seemed to be the bus of the past. The grand design of the Aldenham Service Centre had never fulfilled its promise. Progressively run down since it began, by 1986 it was closed.
A job to be done and a man to do it. Again, a principle in practice. Offer him a fair incentive, and you can reasonably expect that everyone, the man, the works, the bus concern and the public, will get the benefit of a good, fast job.
When Britain wound the clock back and opened its bus routes to competition, the RM, that product of monopoly and nationalisation, found new supporters.
The Routemaster was designed for rapid boarding, rapid departure, and in a competitive environment that is quite important. It means you can get to the bus stop in front of a conventional one-man operated bus and therefore gain more custom. And anyway, the passengers like having a conductor who can talk to them, give them change, explain where the bus is going and so on and so forth. So the whole concept is very attractive from the passenger's point of view. The Routemasters benefited from regular and excellent maintenance at Aldenham and Chiswick Works in London. This meant that when we bought what on paper was a 25-year-old vehicle, in practice it was in the condition of a vehicle that was perhaps only 5 years old, and that's been a major factor in persuading operators to carry on running them out in the provinces. There is no way that we as a company, or I think the industry, could afford the development costs that went into this vehicle. You have to understand that those costs were spread over an order of 2,700 Routemasters. Today it's very unlikely that any operator or even a consortium of operators would buy in such large numbers.
Over 300 of the redundant Routemasters were snapped up all over the country and painted in bright new colours. By the end of the 80s, London too was opened up to private operators. LT's monopoly was finished. Its garages now have to show a profit. But the old RMs have won a stay of execution. With conductors to take fares, they are faster than the opposition.
The Routemaster for London Transport is a very good bus to run. It was designed for them, designed by them and designed for their use, and they can afford to run them. It's cost them millions and millions of pounds to run the Routemaster over the years, and it's costing them millions of, well, thousands or hundreds of thousands of pounds to run them now.
There are very clear arguments about why they are much cheaper to maintain, why they're much cheaper to run, they use less fuel, and we believe that the Routemaster costs no more to operate per mile than any other bus in the fleet.
In the new competitive market, a bus in the garage isn't earning its keep, so ease of servicing is crucial.
The whole design of the Routemaster was with maintenance in mind, such that any job that need to be done at a garage could be done in the space of a day. The ideal was that the bus could run in the morning, come in, say, for an engine change during the middle of the day, and go out again the same evening.
To take the engine out, we take off this front bar, which is held on by 2 bolts, front grille, 2 nuts, the complete wing comes off, 2 bolts under here, 1 bolt there, and we lift the whole wing off, which makes everything accessible, pull the engine out and it's finished. It's built up and back in within 7 to 8 hours. So everything on this vehicle is really built to do in under 1 day.
Others are not so straightforward.
We have to take off the boot lid, the centre panel, the 2 outside corners, the bottom corners, the bottom bar, and you've got a framework inside there all still to be removed, untold pipe work, and then you can start to take the engine out. So to do a complete engine change on one of these, we're talking 2.5 days.
Finding spares in the 90s for a bus built in the 60s requires ingenuity.
With a Routemaster, you cannot guarantee spares. Nobody can. And the only reason that people are able to keep them on the road is that they have to buy second-hand parts and they have to cannibalise existing vehicles to keep the remainder of the fleet going.
Near the Grimethorpe Colliery in Yorkshire is Britain's biggest bus scrapyard.
Like 20 years since I left school, from the age of being like 15 to like 35 now. Well, we bus dismantlers. What we do is like with the London Transport contract that we've got, we collect vehicles from London, we break them up and we take the spares back down to London for them to reuse again. Well, the Routemaster is a bus of its own actually. I mean, it was a bus before its time, and it's a solid aluminium body and it's really, really strong. That's why we have to use the mechanical grab to pull it apart. Well, since we've had the contract, we've broken the region of round about between 1,500 to about 2,000 Routemasters.
Cannibalisation is not a good idea because it costs you a lot of money. Firstly, you have to have a guy who takes the parts off that you want. He has to know what he's taking off. Secondly, you've got to transport it down to wherever the other vehicle is. Then you've got to get another man to take the defective part off and put it and replace it with a bit that you send down. You don't know whether the part you've taken off the other vehicle is good, is bad, indifferent. It might last a day, it might last a week. Everybody, I think, if they're honest about it, will say cannibalisation is the most expensive way of keeping any type of vehicle, let alone a Routemaster, on the road.
Because it's been so well maintained through its life, the Routemaster even now is a very economical vehicle to operate. Availability of spare parts is not a problem, and even now the condition of the vehicles is really first class. There is no reason why these Routemasters can't carry on operating in service for many years still to come.
Whatever happens, the Routemaster will never be short of supporters.
Because bus is the best way to see London. You know, from the upper deck you can see everything that goes on. You can even see things you can't see normally. It's absolutely super.
It's very sad. These keep the traffic flowing much better than that. It'd be very sad to see them go out, you know. And I suppose they call it progress. To me, it's not progress.
The Routemaster is the last of the line, if you like, that was designed to a specification by London Transport, and current vehicles are much more to a manufacturer's standard.
It is said that they cost perhaps 50% more than any other regular bus to buy when they were new. But, of course, taking a 30-year view, that money has been handsomely repaid.
Today's modern buses are off the peg. This vehicle was designed and built to work London, and it survived for 30 years, and hopefully it'll survive for another 30.